Hey y'all, happy Sunday. Chatting at Cheesman in Boston on location. So on my mind today are partnerships, and I want to talk about three of my favorite partnerships. When it comes to being a partner, there are certain requirements that I think are necessary. Number one, both partners need to put God first. I truly believe that when you are in a partnership and you put God first, everything else falls into place. Number two, there's got to be faith in not only God, but also in each other, right? Knowing that the person who's putting God first is just as you are, is going to act in accordance to God's roadmap, God's plan. And that allows you to put God in the driver's seat, and you and your partner can kind of just sit in the back listening to music, enjoying the ride that is life. And number three is to love each other, the message of Jesus Christ, loving each other as brothers throughout our days. So let's talk about my three favorite partnerships. So, from scripture, number one, Joshua and Moses. So last night I was reading Deuteronomy. Moses is 120 years old. He can't go on. He's going to see the land, but not lead the people into it. So God tells him it's time to come home, and we're going to pick a leader, and we're going to pick Joshua. And Joshua and Moses go into the tabernacle. God descends, and then they let Joshua know what he's going to do next, as well as what the plan is for the people. Why Joshua? Great question, right? Well, Joshua put God first. He was a man of God, right? He was Moses' wingman. He was with him through everything that Moses did, from the Red Sea to going up to Mount Sinai. Joshua camped there. He survived while Moses was up on the mountain, meaning that he could really thrive in this world. He also was there when the water was made from bitter to being good, knowing that God can provide at any time. And then ultimately, he was also in the battle against this people that we won't name any longer, right? But Moses would raise his arms up on the mountain with his brother Aaron, and then Joshua would fight, showing great strength, right? He loved Moses. He was devoted. He followed him all the time. He stayed in the tabernacle when Moses would come out. He was hanging with God, praying, praising, and moving forward the people into the land. He put God first, just as Moses did. He absolutely had faith not only in God, but in Moses as his brother, as his partner. And then also he had the love for his people, love for God, and love for Moses. Okay, number two. These two are cousins, Jonathan and David, right? So Jonathan's dad, not a big fan of David, let's be honest, right? But Jonathan and David loved each other in a way that no one else could really know as family. This was a brotherhood that just would last throughout time and throughout their lives, because when Jonathan passed away and David found out, he was so upset. He brought one of Jonathan's sons to come sit at his table, because at this point he was king, and the son had an issue with his feet, so he couldn't really walk. So he just sat at David's table all the time. And I like to think what a great representation of it, of how the love from one partner can extend to a family, to children, to everyone, and how great it is that fellowship extends beyond all of us, because the first thing that two partners such as Jonathan and David do is they put God first. And when they do that, that then follows the faith and the love for each other. And Jonathan and David watched out for each other until they could not anymore. And even then, David picked up the line and did the same. All right, number three, Elijah and Elisha, right? Elijah was the lone prophet. He was lone, he was sad, he experienced depression, he experienced suicidal thoughts, but he loved God. He put God first. Big old mountain man, right? And he happens to come across this guy, Elisha, who's plowing a field, and God has told him, you're going to show him your sign and he's going to come with you. And Elisha does. He says goodbye to his parents, puts down that plow. I think he breaks it up if I remember right. And then he goes with Elijah. And this is love, because Elijah teaches Elisha, right? And together they grow, and they actually end up running sort of like what would be called the school to help folks as well. And then at the very end, Elijah has an interesting end. It's not quite the passing away that we mostly see, but when Elisha gets to ask for anything, he asks for a doubling of Elijah's spirit, which is crazy, because a short time later, he kills a mother bear with his bare hands. That's our Elisha, right? So in all of these partnerships, right, we have Moses and Joshua. We have David and Jonathan. We have Elisha and Elijah. What we see in all of them is that all these men put God first, making them the ideal partner for the person on the other side. They have faith in their God, and they have faith in each other. And just like Jesus Christ says, they love each other. They love one another as Jesus instructed us to. And together, these make the great partnerships that are my favorite from Scripture. So, thanks for joining me in Boston, where I am solo talking about partners, but I hope you're having a beautiful Sunday chatting at Cheesman.